Congestion pricing in New York City and California burning, what do they have in common? Well, it's the myths and delusions of our patronizing white progressive leaders and their allies. On November 14, 2024, Governor Hochul announced congestion pricing. And wouldn't you know it, by charging you $9 per trip into Lower Manhattan, she was saving you 40%. 40%, yes. By charging you $9, she was saving you 40% because previously they'd threatened you with $15. That's how our progressive leaders save the commuter money. What would this go to? It would go to new improved subway service, 2nd Avenue subway extension into East Harlem, investments in the LIRR and the Metro North commuter rail lines, elevator service improvements, and proposed extension of bus service in the outer boroughs, plus hundreds of new electric buses. On January 5, 2025, congestion pricing went into effect. 5 days later, they announced that they had purchased 265 new electric buses, and they labeled them, quote unquote, zero emissions. To call an electric bus zero emissions is false from the get-go. What in fact are they running on? Is it the perpetual motion machine we were shown in 7th grade class with the hidden battery? These electric buses will require new infrastructure for charging stations and their massive dirty electric batteries. Instead of improving our failing infrastructure, they're going to add more infrastructure. In their talking points, they said this is 100% clean energy. What clean energy? New York City has 24 in-city power plants that run on natural gas and petroleum. Let's look at communist China. They are a leader in making inexpensive quality electric vehicles. And why do they make them? It's not to save the environment. It is to burn high sulfur Chinese coal in power plants outside of their city centers and to run figurative extension cords into the cities to power electric cars, taxis, buses. There's nothing environmental about Chinese EVs whatsoever. They are simply there to burn high sulfur Chinese coal. So when our electricity in New York City comes from 24 in-city power plants, which by the way have emissions within the city for all the natural gas and petroleum they burn, this is false from the moment that it leaves their lips. Query whether state consumer protection authorities should issue a cease and desist order to the patronizing white progressives in this state and their allies from referring to electric buses as zero emissions. But it would be career suicide for some functionary to call out the obvious, as the patronizing white progressives and their allies would come for them. Do you see a similar disconnect to the completely foreseeable wildfires in California with wet and dry seasons, Santa Ana winds, with progressive environmental fevers preferred over infrastructure maintenance, brush and forest maintenance? These patronizing white progressives and their allies inflict so much damage on their fellow citizens, whether it be in California or in New York State. Thank you.